Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a new Magic the Gathering arena video for you guys today. So today we are talking about a new deck in standard that I have created. Again, my ideas, I don't take decks from anybody else. But if you guys saw my last Magic video where I was playing Kefka in Brawl, it really did something for me. I really like Kefka. So I was trying to think if there was a way for me to bring this deck into standard. It has been hard. It has been very, very difficult. 3-color decks in standard feel a little rough. If you guys have advice for 3-color decks, let me know in the comments. But after much playtesting and much tweaking, I think I finally got something that works the way I want to. It's nice because it's got the control aspects of blue and black with a little bit of aggression from red, extra board wipes, and Kefka, being that he's a 5-drop, is like just borderline okay to cast. Whereas anything above 5, 6 usually feels like it takes way too long before you can actually cast it. So Kefka is a legitimate threat. So guys, we'll talk about the deck, talk about the card choices, and then jump into some gameplay. If you guys want to just jump straight to the gameplay, I'll have the deck list and the timestamps down below. If you guys enjoy the content, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let's jump in, let's talk about the deck. All right guys, so the deck looks weird. I'll tell you right now, I had to make a change literally right before this video started because new ban list just got announced and this Unstoppable Slasher wasn't actually here. This was Screaming Nemesis. Screaming Nemesis is bonkers. I get why it was banned. It kind of sucks that it was because certain decks are going to be a pain in the ass for red now, but it is what it is. Anyway, we'll talk about that when we get to Unstoppable Slasher. Let's start from the get-go. So as you guys have seen in many of my videos, an Offer You Can't Refuse, one of my favorite counter spells. Counter non-target creature spell for 1. Give your opponent 2 treasure tokens, which is a little scary, but we're playing a card in our deck that helps discard, so we can actually burn our opponent out. So giving them those 2 treasure tokens, a lot of times it doesn't actually matter, as opposed to stopping a really, really powerful non-creature spell. 3 Valgavoth's Faithful, this is still technically a reanimator deck. We still want to bring our big bodies from the grave back to the field. And if you actually look, none of our cards have multi-pips, like multiple of the same pip, unless it's something we want to reanimate. Like Overlord Of The Balemurk, we can pay him for his impending cost. A lot of times we're not going to cast him for his 5 cost. If we are, that means we're already set up anyway. Ardyn, we're never going to cast him unless it's hyper late into the game, where 3 pips will have. Usually we want to play him from the drop. Bahamut don't care. And even Overlord of the Boilerbilges. I hope I said that right. Same deal. Hired Claw. This is one of the new cards I put in. This thing is really fucking good. It's a 1-drop, 1/2, which is pretty good for a 1-drop. Whenever it attacks, or whenever you attack with 1 more lizards, not specifically it does kind of clash with Ardyn a little bit. But if you attack with a lizard, you get to immediately deal 1 damage to your opponent, and then you can pay red and 1 to put a 1/1 counter on this creature. And the way it works is you'll swing, you'll deal the damage, and then you can pump it up if you have the mana. So if you have nothing to cast, you could just continuously pump this up over and over again. It gets really annoying because you can play it so early in the game. Like I said, it does clash with Ardyn because Ardyn turns into a demon, so you don't actually get the burn effect, but you can still use the pump up effect. Detect Intrusion, my actual favorite counter spell. This thing wins games all the time. Instant sorcery or triggered ability, and you can pay it for 1 if you bounce back a tapped creature. Sorry. All right, Goben Splice Savant. The more I use this card, the more I like it. It can't be blocked. When it deals damage, you connive. Which connive, you draw a card, you discard a card. If you discard a non-land card, it gets +1/+1. And then you can play 4 to transform him into Phlegm. This is Norman Osborn / Green Goblin. Cool thing about this is, I didn't realize this, but you can actually just straight cast him as Phlegm, which sometimes I have to do it because he's a 3/3 flyer, and he gives all of your cards Menace, which for anybody that doesn't know what Menace is, it is right there. But Menace, when you discard a card, it can be cast from the grave for its Menace cost the turn it was discarded. We don't have nearly as much discard, but we still do have a good chunk, so being able to give everything Menace when we want to is really, really nice. Other than that, we can just sit on Goben and just give him +1/+1 counters every turn. He's another really, really strong early game card, a lot like Hired Claw, because he just keeps getting bigger every turn, so your opponent has to deal with him, wasting their interaction of these 2 baby cards while we just we make it to the late game and just win. Now we have our spot removal. Bitter Triumph, pay 3 life, discard a card, destroy a creature or planeswalker. We get to pick the target. Strategic Betrayal. This is mostly in there, A, because it's non-targeting removal, so it gets around indestructible, it gets around hexproof and whatnot. And it exiles an opponent's entire graveyard, so it's an out to many graveyard decks. Pretty much anything in black, some white, because a lot of white decks, especially life gain decks, will play that sorcery that brings all their 2 drop and lowers back, which gets really annoying, but it doesn't matter if they're all gone. Same with the other kind of reanimator deck that brings the vampire demon back. Winternight Stories, great draw card, good to keep us in the game. As you see, guys, we did cut a lot of our draw power out. We took out Chart of Course and anything else, basically just knocking it down to Winternight Stories, because we have so many other ways to gain advantage. Goben to help us search for our cards. Kefka is a draw engine in and of himself. We have 2 unstoppable slashers. This was Screaming Nemesis. Screaming Nemesis is bonkers. Besides the fact that it can just shut your opponent down from attacking because of the fact that it can lock them out of gaining life. It can fling its damage at somebody else. Everybody didn't know what Screaming Nemesis did. When it received damage, it can deal that damage out. And if it dealt that damage to a player, they can't gain life the rest of the game. So it's annoying. So I had to figure out something to replace that with that was still strong and could still fulfill that role, at least somewhat. And Unstoppable Slasher just seems like the best bet. It has Death Touch, so people aren't going to want to swing into it. It costs basically the same, except instead of a red, it costs a black and 2. Its stat line is pretty close with 2/3 as opposed to 3/3. And instead of dealing damage out, if it hits a player, it chops their life in half. So that's still pretty strong. And then if he gets killed while he has no counters, he comes back to the field with 2 stun counters on him, and they basically have to deal with him again. So it's still a solid card. For Kavaero, there's so many good creatures that you can just copy, and you don't even have to copy just your own. He comes in as a copy of a creature and then exiles the creature from either graveyard. There's just he's too flexible. So here's one of my cards that I'm so happy I got to use, playing this in with red. Ill-Timed Explosion. This card is so much fun. First off, it's a 4-drop. Most board wipes are 5 or higher, so being able to spit this out when your opponent least expects it, when they're committing a bunch of shit to the board. So it's a 4 cost, 1 blue, 1 red. It's a draw spell. It's draw 2, period. You can stop right there. You don't gotta do anything else. That's pretty expensive for a draw spell because of what else it does. You can draw 2, and you may choose to discard 2. You can't discard 1, it has to be 2 or 0. When you do, Ill-Timed Explosion deals X damage to each creature where X is the greatest mana value among the cards you discarded. Bro, we're playing 4 5 drops, a 6 drop, 2 8 drops, 2 9 drops. Like, it's basically a board wipe. If you get over 9 power, fine, you got it. But Ill-Timed Explosion is fucking crazy good. And even if we don't use it for the board wipe effect, we can use it just to draw 2 to dig for pieces. It's so fucking cool. It went really well with Screaming Nemesis because you could use this as a board wipe, and if Screaming Nemesis was on the board while it got caught, you can then deal the damage out to your opponent as well as clear their board. So it was just a nasty combo piece. And then we have our revival targets. Overlord Of The Balemurk, 5-drop, 5/5, mill 4, add a creature back. We have a lot of really good creatures we want in our hand. Our 1-drops, valgavoth, Kavaero, a bunch Unstoppable Slasher, like things we want to get back. We can also play him for his impending cost, which is a black and 1, so we can play him as early as turn 2. He'll just be an enchantment for 5 turns. That does kind of suck, but many times that has come up where, especially against like blue decks, you'll play it for its impending cost, and because he's going from an enchantment to a creature, they can't counterspell him. Yeah, it's good. All right, the reason we built this deck in the first place, Kefka Court Mage. I've been playing a lot of Commander, and I'm not gonna lie, as degenerate as this card is in Commander, it's just fucking fun. This deck spits him out so easily. Getting the 5 mana is really not hard at all. Turn 5 to drop this, it feels good in every matchup. Even if you don't drop him and you just get him in the graveyard and revive him, you could turn Kavaero into him and make him a 4/4 copy of this. Like, there's just so many ways this deck can abuse this card. And for anybody that doesn't know what Kefka does, I will talk about it. He's been around for a little while now. When he enters or attacks, both players discard a card, or all players. Then you draw a card for each card type among the cards discarded this way. He just becomes a draw engine. If you discard an enchantment creature such as Bahamut, you get to draw 2 cards automatically, not even counting what your opponent discards. So then you can pay 8, turn him into Kefka, Ruler of Ruin. When you pay 8, your opponent has to sacrifice a permanent. They get to choose, but it can even hit lands. He's a 5/7 flyer, and whenever your opponent loses life for anything, you draw that many cards. When your opponent runs out of cards, that's what you would go into. Overlord of the Boilerbilges. This one was in here as a spicy tech. I just wanted to try it out, and it's been putting in work. You can either pay it for 6 with 2 red. You can either pay it for 6, 2 red, and 4 of anything, or you can pay it for 2 red and 2 of anything as its impending cost, like Overlord of the Balemurk. Comes in, deals 4 damage to any target. It can be used as spot removal. It can just deal damage to your opponent. It goes really, really good with Ardyn, because Ardyn will put it into play. It'll deal 4 damage. It can swing as a 5/5. And then you can deal another 4 damage on the swing. So it can deal 14. It can deal 13 damage by itself if you combine it with Ardyn. It's a nasty card, and it steals games. Ardyn, you already know, is my boy, favorite card in a black deck. He's got to be there. And then Bahamut. So originally, I had built this deck as just Kefka and Ardyn, and they were the main focus of the deck. Problem is, I didn't have enough ways to deal with things on the board. Like I could deal with creatures. I'm playing black, but artifacts, enchantments, annoying ass fucking cards. There's one card in black that can deal with enchantments on the board. There's one card in red. Well, there's a few in red that can deal with artifacts on the board, but it's either they deal with artifacts or they deal a small amount of damage, so they do nothing else. So it feels like they're dead cards, especially in the later game, especially if you don't play against a deck that is using artifacts. So I was just like, you know, I'll just nix that. I'll focus on Bahamut. 2 Bahamut feels just about right because he's just there when I need him. And a lot of times I don't need him. A lot of times I'd rather go Kefka and rip cards on my opponent's hand, especially if I'm got any kind of establishment on the board. The hardest part of this deck was the mana base. That took so much tweaking. All right, as you see, we have basically 0 tap lands besides exclusive Nightclub. Exclusive Nightclub, it comes in tapped. If you play it from the graveyard, you lose 2 life. There's a reason for that. It can tap for any of our 3 colors, red, black, blue. And it has Mayhem. If you discard this card, you can play it from the grave for its Mayhem cost, which is free, but you lose 2 life. So if you have a bunch of cards in your hand, you don't want to discard, you can discard this because you can still get it back and play that as your land for turn. Blazemire Verge taps for a black. If you control a swamp or mountain, taps for a red as well. Riverpyre Verge taps for a red. Taps for a blue if you have an island or a mountain. Watery Grave, it's an island swamp. It's our shock land. There is no red-blue shockland, and there is no black-red shockland, which I thought was kind of crazy, but it is what it is. I still made it work. Gloomlake Verge adds a blue. If you have an island or a swamp, taps for black. And then we have some basics. Now, here's the cool thing about these dual lands right here, minus the Watery Grave. So the way I had to think about using them is, okay, this is a swamp. This is a mountain, and this is an island. That's it. I had to not think about the second half of the effect. The second half that taps for the other land, because it's only if I have a certain other kind of land. So when I was thinking about the ratios, I basically thought, okay, I now have 7 islands. I now have 6 swamps. I now have 6 mountains, not counting the Watery Graves. And that helped me get my mana base in order. And it's like, cool, these tap for 2. I gotta make it think like, we know for a fact this is gonna tap for a black. And if we get what we need, this will also tap for a red. So that's how I was able to figure out the ratios. But anyway, this is the deck. It's a lot of fun. I just tried it out with Unstoppable Slasher. It's not as aggressive as I liked it with Screaming Nemesis, but it's still pretty aggressive. So we're gonna go jump into some gameplay so you guys can see how it does. All right, we got our first game and we are going first, and we got a pretty solid hand. All right, so while we're playing, well, the first few turns, nothing crazy is gonna go on. Exclusive Nightclub is probably going to be our first land for turn, but normally I don't post about a deck until I've gone mythic on YouTube. I mean, there's so many decks out there, and I want to keep you guys entertained. I don't want you guys to watch a bunch of bullshit. But I've been having so much fun with this deck. I've been working on it for about 2 weeks, and I just hit Diamond this morning, and I felt it was time to share with you because I've been having so much fun with it. It's my first 3-color deck in Standard that actually feels like it works. So, oh, he's playing green, black, blue. He's also playing 3 colors. He's going to destroy Unstoppable Slasher. It's going to come right back. Yeah, Unstoppable Slasher's annoying. That's fine. Okay, so we're playing against a graveyard deck. So we got to be careful about what we put in the grave. All right, you already put Ardyn in the grave. I kind of want to steal that. Yeah, we're definitely stealing that. He's got valgavoth in there. Yep, we're doing that. Yeah, sorry, bud. Yeah, I'm taking that too. Taking that too. He didn't need either of those. I could have used Strategic Betrayal to just exile his graveyard, but I'm just like, you got my favorite dude, and you got Valgavoth Terror in there. I'm kind of going to use those. He's got 3 cards left. We're going to drop Kefka as soon as we get another mana. We don't have the 5th mana right now, but this is what I was talking about, where Kefka is like just borderline okay to play. Thanks for putting all those cards onto Valgavoth. He gave us our extra land and equip. Yeah. Valgavoth Terror Eater, turn 4 is still one of the grossest things you could do in black. Gross as shit. Anyway, I'm gonna go find another opponent. I'll be right back. All right, guys, we got our next game. We potentially have all of our colors. If we can get a mountain or a swamp, that would be dope. Especially by turn 4, so we can Ill-Time Explosion. We don't have an early game though. I probably shouldn't have kept this hand now that I'm looking at it again. Let's do an island. We'll do Blazemire Verge next, just so we have black, and hopefully we draw into a red. That's a good card. We have all of our big boys and nothing to play early. This could be bad. This could be bad for us. We're playing against white black. Is it a sacrifice deck or is it life gain? It's a reanimator deck. Oh yeah, I should not have kept this hand. Anyway, and we don't have the 4th mana. Damn. We might lose this one now. I mean, he doesn't have anything crazy in his graveyard yet. We got at least a turn before he does anything with his Ardyn. Actually, this is actually perfect to have right now. Let's discard Boilerbilges. We don't want to give him anything too crazy in my graveyard because he's going to use it against me. But we'll put Boilerbilges in there. That's all right. So he doesn't have a revival spell yet. If we hold on to detect intrusion, we can counter because he's gonna bring back Ardyn and then use Ardyn to bring back something else. We can use detect intrusion to actually counter Ardyn's ability. I would love to have another mana though. Oh, he's playing Zombify. Oh my god, he's got Jumbo Cactar in there. No, I think we're just gonna counter this. I didn't see the Jumbo Cactar in there. You don't need that, because if we counter this and we draw into a land, we can just drop Kavaero and take the game. That wasn't the intention, but if that's what's gonna happen, that's what's gonna happen. He should have saved that. He fucked up using that. Yeah, he just threw away the game. Because Valgavoth's Faithful Gain, Overlord of the Boilerbilges doesn't do anything. But if he had waited when I stole his Ardyn, he could have then just killed the Ardyn, and now I just win the game. Because now Ardyn's going to take his Jumbo Cactar. Yeah, that's the game. If he had just waited on the counter spell, not the counter spell, the Bitter Triumph, he would have got that. All right, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you, I skipped 2 games. One game was just a repeat of the first 2, literally just playing black Ardyn. And then the second game, I gave up a hand with mana, an early game like destruction, to try and get a hand like this, where we can actually play the early game. I can actually show you guys what the deck does now. So we're gonna start off with the Riverpyre because we want to play Hired Claw. Now I can show you how aggressive the deck can be in the early game. I didn't want you guys to just see the same gameplay over and over again, you know what I mean? So I basically fished for a hand where I can actually play the other half of the deck. Let's play this. You know what? We're not going to play. I want to play Valgavoth Faithful, but we're not going to because we're going to pump this guy up. This is a great ability for the early game, and if you have multiple copies of Hired Claw, I might actually increase the amount we have because each one of them will do damage based on how many you have. Look, we just drew another one. Wish I had another red mana. I would have loved to have another red mana. As much as I want to pump this up, it's probably smarter to play Unstoppable Slasher here. But let's swing first. See if he does anything to us. Nope. All right, we're gonna play Unstoppable Slasher, which means he probably has a counter spell. I mean, he's playing red-blue. It might be a VV deck trying to get the use of VV before he gets banned, because he's getting banned today. Now I want to play Hired Claw again because both Hired Claws will burn my opponent for 1 when I swing with one of them. That works. God, I wish that was Screaming Nemesis. Oh no, we're land screwed. It's okay. These guys are still gonna both burn. I do not have another red mana to pump them up. This kind of sucks, but this is just bad luck. We have a bonkers hand if we could just play the game. If he plays any creature, we're gonna Bitter Triumph, getting rid of Bahamut here, so we can bring him back with valgavoth Faithful. I guess he wants to destroy our Hard Claw. Yep. That's fine. Pass my turn. Dude, give me a mana, please. Don't do me like this. I don't have another black, so I don't know if I want to play valgavoth Faithful and get rid of Bitter Triumph. I think I'd rather do this. Well, no, because we're gonna stop Bitter Triumph now by doing that. Yeah, let's do that, and let's just play valgavoth Faithful now. Yes, he has to deal with it. Can I get a mana, please? I need lands. I'm playing 23. Oh, he's hurting himself. Oh, and well, Unstoppable Slasher comes back. Why didn't he come back? He had no counters left. I don't know what happened, but of course I still don't have a mana. This is crazy. He's got 8 life left. Don't fuck me like this, game. Exile target non-land mana value 3 or less from the graveyard. Copy it. You may cast it. Okay, let's do this now. Let's just get rid of this thing. Let's get rid of Bahamut. At this stage of the game, I think Kefka might be better. I should have actually just waited in Strategic Betrayal to exile the grave. He's gonna copy the spell regardless. So he's gonna deal 3 to me and gain 3. Ew. Guys, I promise you there's enough lands in the deck. 23 is plenty. Wow. I have to discard Ill-Timed Explosion, because if I discard any of the other ones, I'm giving him 2 free cards. Fucking finally, when it doesn't matter anymore. That was annoying. That was so annoying. I need a black or a red. And then I can play Overlord of the Boilerbilges. This does not happen often. Okay. Now we can do things. Do I want a chance 1 more mana to be able to play this as a creature? No, I don't. I'm just gonna take what I can. If he's gonna waste a counter spell on it, I'll take it. You know what? Let's see if I can get him to waste 2 counter spells. I'm probably gonna regret this. He fucked up. So he should have counterspelled the creature again, because then he would have got the two treasure tokens as well. But he fucked that up. All right, this is gonna be an annoying game now. That's actually a great card, but I don't think it's gonna matter. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he has a counterspell. He got to go like 4 turns without having to worry about a thing. I would have saved all my counterspells too. Yep. Game was going really well for us. And sorry if you guys hear there's doing construction in my hallway. Yep. Got nothing. This game would be going very different if I hadn't got land stuck for so long. And now we're hitting nothing but lands. He's up to 6 cards in hand. He doesn't have to play a thing. I'm hoping we just rip into. Don't turn into a mill deck for the love of Christ. All right, here we go. Let's get countered again. Cool. There's like basically no way for us to come back from this. He's got all that land. He's gonna pump these guys up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're dead. And I might have just got greedy playing that. Let's grab valgavoth's Faithful. I shouldn't have played Overlord of the Balemurk because I would be at least able to kill a card. I think that's all she wrote, chat. I think that's all she wrote. Yeah, he's just gonna draw as many cards as he can to pump these guys up as high as he can. And he's gonna fill his hand with counter spells, so I can't kill them on my next turn. Unfortunate. Well, I guess it depends how much mana he spends. Yep, that's gonna hurt. Oh, he kept it light. Surprising. Alright, let's see what we can do. Oh look, a mana, holy shit. Alright, let's discard a card, let's kill one of these things. Let's discard Ardyn. He's not gonna counter it. If he does, it's okay. Does he counter the valgavoth's Faithful too? He does not. Huh. He's playing black. He's probably going to kill whatever I bring out, so I'm probably better off bringing out Bahamut and just killing this creature. As much as I wanted to gain life back. Yeah, I called it. At least we get to live. Though, one burn spell and we're dead. And with that many cards in hand, he most likely has a burn spell. Yep. Lose 3 life, gain 3 life. Damn. Damn. Well, I'll let you guys down in that last one. Alright guys, here's one more look at my standard deck. Unfortunately, that last one can't really control getting mana screwed, and the algorithm for Arena really does suck with that. I actually I did 9 games in a row where I opened up 2 lands, and yeah, it was awful. And like I said, I'm playing a good amount of lands. 23 is pretty good. If you guys think I should be playing more, please let me know and maybe I can adjust it. Overall, I hope you guys like it. You guys did get to see a little bit of the aspects of the deck. You got to see the control side. You got to see a little bit of the more aggressive side. That game was going really well until we got land screwed for what, 4 turns. Could you imagine if we didn't get land screwed? Or we burned through all of our opponent's resources, but once he didn't have to play anything anymore, he just held on and held on and held on. Sucks. Anyway, guys, thanks for all your support. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. If you guys want to see more Magic content, keep an eye on the channel. If you guys want to see a Magic stream, again, keep an eye out. I will be doing another one soon. I gotta figure out if there's another commander I want to do, if I want to keep tweaking Kefka, because I fucking love this guy. He's even crazier in IRL. If you guys want to check me on social media, those links will be down below. That's it for me. Catch you guys in the next video. Later.
In my eyes, I was born for this. I got demons on my side, you and I like this. I got reason to believe I don't need it from my gifts. Only I can change the world and it go like this.